From a distance, it looks like any other merchant vessel making its way across the sea. But as another ship, the Dei Gracia, pulls alongside it, a chilling realization dawns. There's no one at the helm, no one on the deck. The ship is utterly, eerily abandoned. This is the story of the Mary Celeste, a name that has become synonymous with the greatest maritime mystery of all time. It's the greatest mystery of the sea. On December 12, 1872, this very ship was towed into the port of Gibraltar, not by its own crew, but by the sailors who had found it adrift. The world was about to learn of a vessel in perfect condition, its cargo untouched, its cabins in order, but with not a single soul on board. How does a captain, his wife, his 2-year-old daughter, and a crew of 7 seasoned sailors simply vanish into thin air? This is the question that has haunted historians, sailors, and storytellers for over a century and a half. Let's set the scene. The Mary Celeste, a brigantine of about 100 feet, set sail from New York on November 7, 1872. Her destination was Genoa, Italy. She was carrying a cargo of 1,701 barrels of denatured alcohol, a valuable but volatile substance. At the helm was Captain Benjamin Briggs, a man known for his skill, sobriety, and integrity. He was joined by his wife, Sarah, and their young daughter, Sophia. The crew was small, just 7 men, all of whom were experienced and had good reputations. There was absolutely no reason to suspect anything but a routine transatlantic voyage. 10 days before she was found, on November 25th, the ship's log recorded their last position. The entry was routine, noting fair weather and their location. And then, nothing. For 10 days, the Mary Celeste sailed on her own, a ghost ship on the open ocean. When the crew of the Dei Gracia boarded her on December 5th, what they found only deepened the mystery. The ship was wet, with over 3 feet of water in the hold, but it wasn't sinking. It was a manageable amount for a wooden ship of that era. The sails were in a state of disarray, some set, some furled, suggesting a hasty departure. Down below, the crew's belongings were still in their chests, undisturbed. In the captain's cabin, personal effects, including his wife's sewing machine and their daughter's toys, lay exactly where you'd expect them to be. The ship's chronometer and sextant, vital navigational tools, were missing. And most importantly, the ship's only lifeboat was gone. The cargo of industrial alcohol was almost entirely intact, ruling out a simple case of piracy, as this would have been a valuable prize. Rumors later spread of hot food on the table, as if the crew had been interrupted mid-meal. But this was an embellishment, a myth created to make a spooky story even spookier. The reality was strange enough without it. The official inquiry that began on this day, December 12, 1872, in Gibraltar, was baffled. The Attorney General leading the investigation, a man named Frederick Sollyflood, was immediately suspicious. He couldn't accept that 10 people would abandon a perfectly sound ship. His mind immediately went to foul play. Sollyflood's initial theory was a sensational one. He suspected mutiny and murder. He pointed to a few small, reddish-brown stains on the deck and a sword found under the captain's bunk as evidence of violence. He proposed that the crew had gotten drunk on the industrial alcohol, murdered the Briggs family, and then fled in the lifeboat. He even went so far as to accuse the crew of the Dei Gracia, the very men who found the ship, suggesting they had killed everyone on board to claim the salvage reward. This theory, however, quickly fell apart. The stains were tested and found not to be blood. The sword was just the captain's personal item, and the alcohol in the cargo was not drinkable. It was denatured, essentially poisoned. Furthermore, the crews of both ships knew each other, and Captain Morehouse of the Dei Gracia was a close friend of Captain Briggs. The idea of him murdering his friend's family for salvage money was unthinkable. With the foul play theory losing steam, the door was thrown wide open to a flood of other explanations, each more imaginative than the last. This is where the legend of the Mary Celeste truly takes off. The public, captivated by the story, let their imaginations run wild. Could it have been pirates after all? Perhaps a swift, brutal attack that left no witnesses. But why would they leave the valuable cargo? Why was there no sign of a struggle? Then came the more outlandish theories. What about a sea monster? A giant squid? A kraken from the deep, reaching up with its massive tentacles and plucking the crew one by one from the deck. It's a terrifying image, straight out of a Jules Verne novel, but there was no physical evidence to support such a fantastical claim. Others whispered of ghosts and paranormal activity, suggesting the ship was cursed, and some supernatural force had claimed the souls on board. The famous author Arthur Conan Doyle, creator of Sherlock Holmes, even penned a short story based on the incident. In his fictionalized account, he proposed a mutiny led by a vengeful former slave seeking revenge. While it made for a thrilling tale, it was pure fiction, and had no basis in the actual facts of the case. The idea, however, added another layer to the growing mythos surrounding the ship, and in the 20th century, the theories got even stranger. With the rise of science fiction, some proposed an alien abduction, that a UFO had hovered over the ship and beamed the entire crew aboard. But if we set aside sea monsters and aliens, what are the more plausible, scientific explanations? One of the most enduring theories centers on the cargo itself, the 1,701 barrels of denatured alcohol. The idea is that some of the barrels may have leaked, creating a buildup of flammable vapor in the hold. Captain Briggs, fearing an imminent explosion, might have ordered everyone into the lifeboat as a precaution. The detail that 9 of the barrels were found empty adds some weight to this. Perhaps they tethered the lifeboat to the ship, intending to wait at a safe distance to see if it would blow. But then, a sudden squall could have snapped the Toro, leaving them stranded in a small boat while their perfectly good ship sailed away without them. This explains the missing lifeboat and the panicked but orderly evacuation. Another theory suggests a seaquake, an underwater earthquake that can cause sudden, violent turbulence on the surface. This could have panicked the crew, making them believe the ship was breaking up. It might have also dislodged the cargo and caused the water in the hold, leading them to abandon ship in the lifeboat. A more recent and very compelling theory comes from a documentarian and scientist, Dr. Andrea Sella. He conducted an experiment where he recreated the ship's hold and ignited alcohol vapor. Instead of a massive ship-destroying fire, the ignition created a pressure wave explosion, a sort of whoosh of flame that would have been terrifying but would leave behind very little evidence. No soot or scorching. Imagine being on deck and hearing a terrifying sound from the hold, maybe even seeing the hatch covers blown off. Captain Briggs, a cautious man with his family on board, might have believed the catastrophic explosion was seconds away. His immediate, logical response would be to get everyone off the ship as quickly as possible. They pile into the lifeboat, but in their haste, perhaps they failed to secure the tow rope properly. The Mary Celeste, still under partial sail, simply drifts away, leaving them behind to an unknown fate in the middle of the ocean. This theory neatly explains the lack of damage to the ship, the crew's sudden departure, and the missing lifeboat. It paints a picture not of monsters or mutiny, but of a responsible captain making a calculated decision based on a perceived threat that, tragically, never materialized. It was a fatal miscalculation. So, what really happened? The truth is, we will never know for sure. The 10 souls of the Mary Celeste Captain Briggs, his wife Sarah, their daughter Sophia, and the 7 crewmen were never seen or heard from again. Their fate remains the sea's most guarded secret. The official inquiry in Gibraltar concluded without a definitive answer, only ruling out the initial wild accusations of foul play against the De Gratia's crew. They were awarded a salvage fee, but it was much lower than usual, a sign that suspicion lingered. The Mary Celeste herself sailed under new owners for another 12 years, haunted by her reputation, before she was deliberately run aground and wrecked off the coast of Haiti in an insurance fraud scheme. It was an ignominious end for a vessel at the heart of such an enduring legend. The story of the Mary Celeste is more than just a ghost story. It's a human story about a family and a crew who went to sea and never came home. It's a puzzle with missing pieces that we are still trying to fit together. Was it a freak accident, a moment of panic, or something else entirely? The ship sits in our collective imagination, forever adrift, forever empty, a silent testament to the awesome and sometimes terrifying power of the ocean. So what do you think happened? Was it the alcohol fumes? A seaquake? Or do you have another theory? The beauty of this mystery is that every possibility is still on the table. Let me know your best theory down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you love a good historical mystery, be sure to subscribe for more.